Okay, so the last video was a little too long, so I'm gonna try to make it really short this time. All right. So you're back from work and you wanna start working on your Laravel or a job or a project or whatever you have in mind, whatever you're doing at the time. All right. So blank state. Let's go and look for our GitHub. Alrighty. So let's fire up the shell and let's put this boy over here for a second. Let's make this a little larger. And then we navigate to one folder, right? And then we say 205, and that's it. That's what we left last time, right? So we have all the dependencies installed. We have our files and everything. Let's fire up this for a second, and let's do a local host. Alright, so everything looks okay so far, right? Services, contact, not very responsive. Let's see if we can do this. My password was secret, and then we have an error because we don't have a table, and we never did download all the data for the databases, and never really created those tables in the database, right? So we have all this, but now we need to work on the database to make it dynamic, and get everything really working fine. All right. So what do we do in this case? First, we need a database that is called 205 Ventures, right? So we're just going to do localhost php admin, and we actually have a table already there. It says 205 Ventures, databases, 205 Ventures, and that's it. It's a database that's got no tables or anything. So we're gonna go back to our bash shell, and we're gonna say php artisan migrate. We're gonna try to migrate from a file and create all the tables that are being created in file in the database file. So we're just gonna do that, and it says, alright, so we had this error before. Table users already exist, blah blah blah, here and there, blah, 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 blah. So I think we need to delete a table here. Let me see. Users already exist, so it's not creating anything else. We're gonna drop this table, and this is an error that we've seen before. I don't think we're gonna see it again. And then let's refresh this for a second. Databases, and that table's gone. We have still that migration file. So let's run this again. Alrighty, so that was fine. So for the first time, I guess you're gonna have to go through that. Delete that user tables manually, and then just run php artisan migrate again. Now we have the tables, but we need data in the tables, right? Because otherwise my password is not gonna be matched against anything in the database. It's not gonna let me in again, right? So for that we use php artisan db seed, and now we have data. So basically seed was doing it, just adding data into the database, and we say my password was secret. Awesome. Alright, so we're good to go. Now we have a fully functional website to work on. Does a bash, and we do an ls, and now we're good to go. Now whatever you're doing, whatever your side of the project is, or whatever you're working on today, you can start working on it. Now before we worked on master, which is, and let me see if I can put it on a picture here. seconds. Let's fire up this for a second. Oh, alright, that was quick. Alright, say we have a repository on the net on GitHub, right? Now we have a local machine and we clone that repository, so we make a copy of all the files that exist here into our local computers, right? Now we work on them. We make changes here and there, and then we push those changes, and those changes are merged into these files up there, right? Now this will be fine sometimes, but sometimes we make errors on our local machines, and then by mistake we push all those errors into the repository, which is where we get everything a fresh like a batch of a good working code, and it's gonna be stained with those mistakes. So we don't want that. We want actually to have that repository to be functional and production ready. So for that we're gonna create, and let me erase this part here. Instead of pushing changes to main repository, those changes do not exist yet. We're gonna create a branch on local machines. So that's local, your computer, and we're gonna say branch, and we're gonna call this branch 1. Now you can work on this here, make all the changes that you want to make, and then test it. So this is your testing area. Now when it works and it's flawless, you can merge it with your master local repository. And when you're certain that everything is fine, you can push to main after I don't know, we talked about it, we agreed that everything looks fine, whatever, or you just done with your job, everything's fine, nothing's broken, we can put it back into the main repository, and then it's gonna be merged, and all the changes you made are gonna be done on main. And then we have a safe way to separate working environment. So you have your branch where you can work on a certain specific problem or project or part of the the website, or you can branch again and have probably a branch to here to work on something specific like changing pictures or whatever. So let's get rid of this for a second, and then we're gonna say, how do we do branching? So basically you just need to type in git checkout. Let's give it a name, because I wanted to do a validation using jQuery, right? So we're gonna say jQuery val. This is something specific that I'm working on. So I'm not gonna work on my master locally, I'm gonna do a branch. So we do this, and I've just created a branch. Now as you can see, there is this part here that tells me, indicates that my status or my area state is this branch name, jQuery val. So let's do git branch, and it's gonna show you which branch you're on right now. That's jQuery val, right? So what happens now? Well, let's say to an ls, and let's change this readme file. So we're gonna say a notepad. notepad readme, and we're gonna say this load there. We're gonna put around this h1 tags, and we're gonna save this. Right? So git status is gonna show me the status of my commit and changes, you know, like in this branch. So something's been modified. Whatever. I work on something else later. Let's see, what else can I mess around with here. All right, so that's good enough. Good enough. All right, so we're gonna do notepad. Git ignore. Fantastic. So we're gonna just maybe just do something like this. It's not gonna break it. So that's another change. So we save it and close this, and then say git status. No, that's another change. So now if we wanted to, we can commit these changes and go and say git add all. I think it goes like this, but I'm gonna just say git ignore and say readme. So it's gonna be adding that, and then we're gonna commit it. So those are the two steps that you have to do every time, right? Then probably just give a legend like change something. And up, sorry. Now that's been committed. Let's check that git status. It says nothing to commit, nothing to work on, nothing's been changed, everything's fine. Now let's go back to notepad readme and take a look at this file. It's within h1 tags, right? Now we're gonna switch branch. I don't want to work in jQuery val anymore. We're gonna go to master branch, git check out master. Now as you can see, it tells you that you're working in master now, right? So let's say ls list, and we're gonna say notepad readme. And you see, when I go back to master, this part here, this tagging, it's not there, because it's not that it made a copy of the same file with tags included. What Git does is actually just records changes on the files. So the changes that were made when I was in jQuery branch are recorded in that branch, so it never happened in a master branch. So whatever changes I make here are gonna stay there until I'm ready to merge those changes into the master branch. So let's close that. I didn't save, right? So we're gonna go back to master branch, to jQuery branch, right? So we do a checkout jQuery. Alright, we'll list here for a second, and then we're gonna say maybe change something else. Let me see what's the state of the logs. Let's say the log. These are all the things that I've done and changed so far. So that's the latest change that I've done. Right. So let's say that was a problem. There you go, that's it. Alright, so let's say that fixed the problem, so I don't need to work on this branch anymore. I'm happy with the changes that I made. So what I need to do now is just merge or go back to my mastered branch and just go back to the main branch, right? Alright, so for that we switch to checkout. We switch to master, and then we say git merge jQuery file. What do I do now? Alright, we say what is happening with this? We say alright, that's it. Not really sure more fixes. It's actually just showing the log of file. It's not really doing anything. So I'm gonna just let me close this for a second. And then we run the bash again. Shell. Alright, let's do this really quick. And then we go to WAMP, and 205. Alright. And then we're master, and then we're gonna say, so we changed files on the jQuery branch. Now we want to merge master with branch. So we say git merge jQuery file. Now, whatever changes were made on the jQuery branch are gonna merge are now merged into master. So let's take a look at it. Let's say notepad readme file, and the changes that we made there now in the master repository, right? Now we say that we didn't need that. We made those changes, and those changes were all that we needed to do with that specific branch. So I guess we can get rid of the branch because we don't need it anymore. So we're gonna say git what was it? Git branch delete jQuery branch. Alright, so let's say we say git branch, and we only have one branch right now, which is master. So let's see if I can put it on paper here. Let's take my fancy drawing board again, and let's get rid of this here for a second. Fantastic. So what we did was this. Let me see if I got the rubber pen right. So we have a local machine with all these files and whatever else we have, right? We made a branch, and that branch was called jQuery something. We made changes to that branch. We changed a notepad file. We did that and this and that, whatever. Now those changes are merged into this branch, and that was good enough. We didn't, those changes were safe to be done here. It did not affect our master branch, and well, it's just a safety precaution, right? Now we can get rid of the jQuery branch, and that's not nice. Maybe I can do this. That's better. And now we have a master, a local branch, the only branch that exists, that we can figure out if we needed to do some more work, right? So now I want to work on changing the pictures on the main page and adding something to the footer of all the on the layout. So instead of working on master here, what we're doing is just creating another branch, and we're gonna call it maybe issue footer. There's a problem with the footer. It doesn't look good. And there's a bar, a blue bar somewhere. So we're gonna call this branch that name. We fixed, changed all the problems that it had. We merged those changes. Once we know this is okay, it is safe, and it's not broken. These changes are made on master, and then we just get rid of this branch. And that's how it works. Now, it may look like we're making a copy of master, and it looks like a lot of work, but actually nothing's been copied. GitHub, the Git doesn't, copy files. It just register changes to the files, and that's just it. Alrighty. So back to the shell. Let's say we say git status. Nothing's been changed. We're a master. Everything's clean. We can work on files if we wanted to, but if we're gonna do it, we're gonna say git check out the issue name or feature name. That sounds actually nicer. Feature name. And then now we have a branch. Let's find out if we actually have a branch. Now we have did not match any files. Not good. Check out. Get check out. Oh, we didn't create. Yeah, we need to create it, right? Check out. Then move to that branch. Feature name. Alright, so now we say git branch, and then we can see that we have a branch that's called feature name, and then we can make any changes that we want on these files, break it, not break it, fix it, not fix it, whatever. And then when we know it's working fine, it's secure, whatever, we change, we switch branches. We say check out master. Sorry, git check out master. And now we say, all right, so git merge feature name into master. I don't know if it's gonna take it, but there's nothing to merge because I never made any changes to the feature branch. Now, so whatever changes I made or didn't make, I'm gonna say I don't need that branch anymore. So we say git branch delete feature name, and now we say git branch to just find out what's going on, and we're back in master. So that's basically what we all need to do from now on. And well, that's the end of this. Good job. Probably I'm gonna make a video later on about something else.